as you know, she introduced me as Dr. Josephine Harris, but you guys can call me Dr. Joe. One of the things I want to talk about is professional help for caregivers, exploring the benefits of seeking professional mental health. And sometimes we have the hardest time at seeking professional mental health, at seeking the help that we need. So one of the things I want to explain is why caregiving is important. One of the things of caregiving is we are the most selfless, rewarding roles of a person taking on. Whether it's caring for yourself, whether it's caring for a loved one, whether it's caring for an elderly person, whether it's caring for your children, your grandchildren, and things like that. Whether you even caring for someone with a disability, we all provide. It all comes with a challenge and provides invaluable caregiving. So being a caregiver also comes with challenges that are often called emotional, physical, and mental. So today I want to talk about the importance of, yet sometimes overlooked as aspect of a caregiver, the mental health of caregivers themselves. Specifically, when we explore benefits of seeking professional help as mental health services, such as counseling, therapy, and for caregivers. Many caregivers, like myself, feel that we need to be strong. Like we need to be strong for everybody, and we don't have the time to set aside for ourselves, to care for ourselves, to get the help that we need. So we tend to put on all these emotional, these physical, these mentally aspect of our lives. So one of the things I want to really talk about is the emotional toll of caregiving. And with caregiving by nature
Hi,
and
we're
emotional
started. How are you doing?
taxing. So you are often caring for someone you love who's been suffering and decline, which can create a really constant sense of worry and anxiety. Like some of these are common challenges caregiver faces. One of the things that caregiver faces is guilt. We feel guilty, feeling guilty, not doing enough or giving too much, or we feeling guilty of getting us some self-care. Another one is anxiety. Constantly worry about certain things, well-being, the person is caring enough for that person, is we giving that enough person love. So our anxiety spikes because of the worries that we have, the concerns that we have about the future, about their future. Another one that we deal with is the depression of it. The depression is feeling sadness, hopelessness, especially when caregiving becomes overwhelming and feeling never ending. So we have to keep that in mind of going through depression, anxiety, and guilt. Another one that we feel is the loneliness that we have. Caregiving can be really isolated, as often require you to dedicate a large portion of your time, your life, and your experience. So we feel that we are lonely, the loneliness that comes with caregiving. So it's very important to understand these emotional tolls as a caregiver. The one is like guilty, anxiety, depression, and loneliness. These emotional burdens don't just affect you, but it also can impact the quality of care you give for your loved one or someone you're caring for. So be recognizing these feelings, understanding these emotionals will help you in the long run to recognize how to manage stressful activities and to process difficult times in your life. So another section I want to talk about is the role of therapy and counseling. Now let's talk about how professional mental health services, such as counseling and therapy, can support caregivers. One of the things I really tell even myself, even my clients about emotional release of validation. So sometimes as caregivers, we just need someone to talk to. So as a professional therapist, a professional therapist provide a safe place for you where you can go and express how you're feeling, express what is daunting on you, express even without being fear of judgmental. So it's a lot of times we don't go to therapy because we feeling that people can be we as people can be judgmental. So a therapist is there to not be judgmental towards you. So it's very important to get that emotional release and to be validated. Another way in a therapy can provide or counseling can provide is the coping strategies. The coping strategy that help us to teach you to practice coping strategy to manage stress, to manage anxiety, and to manage all emotional challenges. So we have to keep those in mind. So going to a counseling or a therapy will help you with your coping strategies. Some of us, it's very difficult for us to cope with stress, for us to manage with stress, for us to even manage anxiety and depression. So going to a therapist will help you to manage those things. Another one that we really think about and we really don't think about is dressing burnout. A lot of us experience burnout. As a caregiver, you experience a lot of burnout, and you have to be really careful with being burnt out because burnout is real. And we don't recognize that as a person, as an individual, as a caregiver, each one of us is as professionals. So making sure that you state the physical, emotional, and mentally exhausted because doing caregiving, it can be prolonged with the emotional, the physical, and mental exhausted. So be careful with the burnout. Another one is a therapy will help you really is to build resilience. How many of you is very difficult for you to build resilience, especially being a caregiver, you're working, you're a mother, you're a father, you're a grandfather, you're a grandmother. So building that resilience is important. So a therapist or a counselor can help you build that resilience. Learn how to build that resilience. Be the person that you can be and build that resilience because as caregivers, we tend to have overlook ourselves. We tend to go to an in and that direction. We tend to go on, we caregiving and we're going to this direction, that direction. So building that resilience is very important. Another one a caregiver can help is problem solving. How many of you know it's difficult problem solving when you're trying to care for yourself, your family, your husband, your wife, your grandkids, your children. So we as therapists, as professional, we help you guys to build those problem solving support. We're there to help you toughen up, to help you, okay, figure out what's problem solving, figure out if I'm going too far in caring for my loved one. Do I need to care for myself first before I care for my loved one? So think about it. We can't care for ourselves if we build caring from an empty cup. So our cup always have to stay full in order for us to give the best care to caregivers, to our loved ones. So another section is the section that I'm going to talk about is where it's benefiting for professional help for caregivers. One of the things we want to explore is improving emotional well-being. Now, this might be a most difficult time when we're trying to improve our emotional well-being because we experience the levels of anxiety, depression, guilt. Some of us always have guilt, like we guilt of taking care of family, or we guilty we want some time, and I don't want to go see my dad today. I don't want to go see my mom today. I want to go and have some time to myself. So we have to improve their emotional well-being. So feeling guilty is a normal feeling, but you don't have to feel guilty of giving that self-care to yourself. You don't have to feel guilty of taking time for yourself. You don't have to feel guilty of going to a counselor or a therapy because those person there are to help you through those emotional well-being. Another one is we have to really enhance our quality of care. So as caregiver, emotional healthy is very important. It can improve your high quality care. So if we have and take care of our emotional well-being, our physical well-being, our mental well-being, it enhances our quality of care. We'll start caring about ourselves more. We'll start caring for our family more. So once you in the position of caring for your family members, you'll be in the position of caring for yourself. So making sure that you get that emotional self-care, you get that self-care to yourself so that it can enhance the quality of your life. Because think about it. If we don't have the emotional self-care or emotional well-being, we tend to fall below. We tend to fall below our standards. We tend to not be the best provider to our loved one. So going to a therapist, going to a counselor, that will help you to enhance the quality of care. Another one is, this one right here is very important. Sometimes we are overlooked. This one is preventing health issues. Chronic stress, depression, anxiety can lead to physical health illness. This is like high blood pressure, health problems, sleep disorders. It can address anxiety disorders. So we have to be careful of preventing health issues. So understanding yourself and preventing these issues from happening is will help you to better enhance quality of life. Another one is we really had to be careful and increase a sense of support system. Each of us is caregivers, and it's very difficult and challenging to be a caregiver because I'm a caregiver for my father, but I'm a traveling caregiver. But I need that sense of feeling support. That support system is very important. Getting that support system that you need, getting that support system that so that you won't feel alone in this work in this role, because caregiving can be loneliness. And if you don't want to feel lonely in this role, so getting that support system that you need can reduce a sense of isolation, a sense of depression, anxiety. Another one we deal with is restoring relationships. Restoring relationship. Say for instance, I'm a traveling caregiver for my father, and if I travel a lot and I have a husband and my family, I'm leaving them to go see about my father. So we have to really restore that relationship. We have to be mindful of the people that we love at home and the people that we love are caring for, because at home you also a caregiver as well. So you have to keep that in mind as well. So restoring those relationships, being careful, because it can put a strain on those relationships. Making sure that you taking time for your family at home and your family that you're caring for. So being mindful of restoring relationship, being good with the relationship. Another one is persevere your own self-identity. Sometimes we lose our identity when caring for our loved ones. We lose our identity being a caregiver. We struggle with a sense of identity outside of caregiving. So we don't know exactly who we are outside of caregiving. So that's why it's very important to get the help that you need, to get the professional help that you need, because they can help you to preserve your self-identity, to recognize your self-identity outside of caregiving. Another one is how we're going to overcome these barriers of seeking professional help. One of the things is we think about the time constraint. It's like another task. We think of it as another task. We're going to do another task. We care for a loved one. Now we got to go to therapy. But as caregiving, we get so busy and doing things and often feel we don't have the time to go to therapy. We don't have the time to go to counseling. So being mindful of those things and being professional, being flexible, being optional, and fitting counseling in evening section. You can even go during lunchtime. So many counselors are flexible, many therapies are flexible. So they really geared to the needs of the clients. So being more concerned, being time constrained, don't think about the time. So think about, okay, I can fit a 30-minute section here, I can fit a 30-minute section there. So another concern is the cost. Sometimes we think about the cost. Okay, if we don't have insurance and we're paying for our loved ones and we care for them, when we have the funds to care for them. So don't look at it as a cost, because most therapies can put you on the income scale. So if you talk to your therapist about the cost restraint, that's important in insurance, and most therapies will help you fill out the insurance paperwork. So don't think about it as a caregiver. It's time. It's cost concerns. So those are not really the issues. The issue is that thinking about, okay, what can I do to go to therapy too, so I won't have that concern? Because cost concern can also put a strain on you as a caregiver, because now you care for your father. Now you're thinking about cost restraint and time restraint. So look at it like this. And another one is dealing with, this is the most biggest one, is stigma. The stigma on seeking help, mental health issues. Caregivers may feel like they're supposed to be strong, they're supposed to be self-sufficient, but seeking help is a sign of strength. So each one of us have that strength to seek the help that we need, so that we can have the quality care that help us to provide the quality care to our caregiver, our loved ones. So keep that in mind. Another one is the perception of therapy. Some people think that therapy is only those that serve that have mental health issues. It's not that. So therapy is to help you enhance your quality of life. You can go to therapy just to release stress. You can go to therapy just to get some strategies to understand why you feel lonely. You can go to therapy to enhance your ability to feel resilience. So it's not the people have the perception of therapy that therapy is just for mental illness, and that's not the case. So however, therapy for anyone who wants to improve their mental and emotional well-being. You don't need to be in a crisis to benefit from a professional support. You really don't need to be in a crisis. So keep that in mind. As I draw all this to conclusion, I want to really leave y'all with don't don't feel don't feel that we don't have an important role, because we do. Caregiving is very valid and require emotional, mentally, and physical resilience. So keep that in mind. But you don't have to carry all the weight alone. Seeking professional help is not only an act of self-care, but it's also the act of love, responsibility to those you care for. And if you are struggling with being stressed, burnt out, emotional challenging, I encourage you, I strongly encourage you to take the first step of seeking the professional help that you need. That's professional individual therapy. They also have group therapy. They also have caregiving support group. So it's very important for you to seek the help that you need to understand your emotional well-being, making sure that everything is in order, making sure that you have the quality of care that you need so that you can have the quality of care for your caregiver. So I'm going to leave that with you. You guys have a wonderful and blessed morning, blessed afternoon, your time. So this is Dr. Josephine Harris. You can call me Dr. Joe, and I can be reached on all the social media, and also can be reached on my platform called Common Minds LLC, www.commonmindsllc. So you guys have a wonderful and blessed day. Thank you all for joining me with this is understanding professional help and seeking the help that you need.